man. That's the stuff that gets the show going. Close. All right, today's episode.
Adolf is the dog's name.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Today's episode.
Sorry.
Today's episode of the Rants of Izzo Show is brought to you by Spreely TV. Go to Spreely.com and check out all the things that we have for you there, including the Burn Pit Podcast, Report, and Opine, Shannon Joy Show, Pete Santilli, and more. You can watch it on your smartphone at Freedom Hub, all one word, download it for your app, or go to your smart TV and then type in, what is that ridiculous thing called? Spreely app. Spreely. Yeah, it's Spreely TV for your smartphone. Also, createholistic.com. That's createholistic.com. Maureen, who runs this, is going to give you a 20-minute phone consultation on what's happening with your health. Are you tired of being medicated? Are you tired of, dude, if you're like my mother was and you believe everything that the doctors put in the newspaper, like back in the day when the newspaper, she used to cut out articles that said creatine was bad for you and pin them on the fridge so I would see it. You know, the doctors get less than 2 weeks of nutritional training in their college-bound MD years. So go check out Maureen at createholistic.com. You got a problem and you're all fucked up and you truly are tired of what's going on with you, give her an email, give her a call, and she'll talk to you at the very least. Let's have a show.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
And how the hell do I keep freezing? I don't know. This is ridiculous. Rants of Izzo technical show here on Spreely Media. It is Wednesday. We're back. I had the last 2 days off live. And I may need to do a third for tomorrow, but that's what happens when you have your own business and you run stuff. If you want to support the show and you like what we do for free speech and you're like, man, I want to see more independent people giving their commentary, their education. If you've learned more about World War II history in the last several months on this show alone and you're like, what the fuck? And it's starting to kind of sink in a little bit. You wake up in the middle of the night or even better, you wake up because your alarm clock has been changed and you just didn't realize that how powerful and motivating, a national theme song was. You support us. You can support the Burn Pit Podcast and Report and Opine and everybody else. Go to rantsofizzo.com and check us out. It is Wednesday, gents. I'm appreciative to have you back on. We're entering in the first full week. It's been a week of Trump being the savior of the world again. And he's going through some, massive appointments, as the world would expect. And that's the biggest news that's going around the country right now. You have two polarizing branches of people. It's like the women who are just bat shit insane on the liberal left, who are shaving their heads, claiming that they're not going to have sex with men anymore, or tie their tubes, which is brilliant because it prevents them from breeding more liberal, insane people. You also have people like my favorite, Joy Reid. I don't know if you guys had heard this. I want to play this really quickly because the big thing has been everybody who is a person of color blames white women. This is Joy Reid, who's a very liberal black woman on CNN. I think she's on. This is what she had to say on her TikTok the other day about solidarity among women who want to include women of color.
I just want to give some free advice to
the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and that. And, the black spaces, but Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I have a question for you guys, and I want to start with the left side. They've done something over the last several years, which has kind of made me go, fine, if you want to call me a racist, I'm a fucking racist. You want to call me a sexist? I'm a sexist. Thanks to you, two fucks. I'm now anti-Semite. I mean, it is what it is.
You're welcome.
And I'm okay with it due to the information that's been given. We've seen that the liberal left loves to create the racism, and you can't call them out for being reverse racist and shit like this. But I'm wondering if Joy is onto something. Do you guys see a potential? Now, I'm the sexist. I'm the misogynist. I don't know what your guys' views are. Do you see a potential for the liberals to step in and kind of advocate for repealing the 19th Amendment by saying if white women, who's the majority out there, cost us the election, we shouldn't have these crazy bitches vote anymore? I think this is a great entryway into recall, repeal, relieve the 19th. Am I off my rocker? Do you guys think it? Yeah.
Are you asking that the Democrats want the Democrat women are going to want that?
No, I think
is that what you're asking?
I think it's a good call to action for some capitalist, industrialist, conservatives to step up and say, we agree with you. White women did ruin the election. Let's repeal the 19th and get rid of women's rights to vote.
Just white women or all women?
Oh, fucking all. It should be all women, but we have to start with the whites.
Then it would be inconsequential, though. I mean, if you look at it's inconsequential. It makes no difference if you just remove, we'll just say 50% of the voting population. You still have the other 50%, and they're just as divided. So, I mean, I would have to look at the demographics, and I don't know the numbers. But, I mean, are you saying that most women in general, especially white women, are
I'm saying I want the ability to look at some broad when she talks about something, go, shut up, get back in the kitchen. Sandwiches don't make themselves. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would go further than that. I would actually go further than that. I think you should have to take some sort of civics test, IQ test, test on the Constitution. You would have to take some sort of other test to be able to vote. You should actually have to provide some sort of credence for even being an American citizen and living here. If you have a job, I mean, I don't think people on welfare collecting benefits should be able to vote. Why should they? Why should you literally give nothing to the country and you're a parasite. It's not like you're an old person, you collect Social Security, you put in your time, you paid your dues. I'm talking about anybody that's basically on, public assistance that has been milking the system. They shouldn't be allowed to vote, man or woman. If your IQ is below 65 or below 80, you shouldn't be able to vote. Well, I mean, if you can't pass a simple American civics test, you shouldn't be able to vote. If you can't
that'd be like half of Chicago, by the way.
I was going to say, you just alienated the black community.
Yeah, well, that's my whole point. It's not just women. I would enter in an entire other group of demographics that shouldn't be able to vote, especially when it comes to your IQ level, your knowledge on American history, the Constitution, and U.S. law code, all these different things. I think it's across the board. I don't think the women is really the issue. I think if you eliminate stupid people, you wouldn't have half of Congress. They couldn't even pass that test.
Yeah. When you started the show, Dominic, you said, I've been called a racist, I've been called a misogynist. Who cares if you're called a bad name? The reality is, in your day-to-day life, I know Dominic treats people well. You know, he goes into a store. He says, yes, please. He holds doors for people. Matt, the same thing. Our interaction with people day to day in Pittsburgh, we're very kind people. We're courteous. We treat people well. So calling us a bad name means nothing. It doesn't matter. Call me whatever you want to. I'm not going to change. And on this issue with voting, when it comes to the history of the country, we had a guest on the last couple of months, Sam Parker. He's right. He told us, he goes, not everybody was meant to participate in this constitutional republic. Originally, the people that could vote were landowners. You got one vote per household. That's what it was. So he's for repealing the 19th Amendment. He's saying one vote per household. And then originally it was landowners that could vote. Imagine if that were today. You can only vote if you own property. How the demographics in the voting would shift. I think it would shift incredibly. It would be, I think so. You don't think so?
Well, I mean, a lot of rich, you got a lot of Chinese people that own land now.
That's true.
You got a rich billionaires that own land. A lot of them are,
That's
you know,
true.
so
That's true.
so landowners doesn't mean you're pro-American.
That's true.
You still have to take the test. If you don't know about the Constitution, I don't give a fuck how much land you own. LeBron James can own a ton of land.
Yeah.
That means he gets a vote. The dude can barely speak English.
That's
You ever notice a meme that goes around where he's always reading a book and he's never passed the first page of the book?
Yeah, with green eggs and ham.
It's racist.
No,
The
I've seen it. I've
reason
seen it
I
a bunch
brought
of
that
times.
up,
Yeah.
I watched a.
Horton Hears a Who.
I can't- What?
But
That's
hold on, real quick,
Yeah, go
though.
ahead, go ahead.
When Joy's talking right there, and she's saying she's going to prioritize black businesses, black people,
Black men, black women.
men, we have no problem with that. By the way,
Yeah.
What?
we have no issues with that.
Nope.
I do.
But
I do.
if-
I'm tired of the priorities for shit. I'm tired of pulling up my Netflix and saying featured black cinema. It's like I don't fucking care anymore. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, okay, but what if Matt and what if our podcast grows, our platform grows to the point where we're millions of views, millions of followers, people are turning into Spreely TV, which you can find on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, by the way. And here, people are tuning into us and we go, hey, you know what? We're going to prioritize white businesses. We're going to prioritize white people. We're only going to show up if it's in the interest of whites. Would we be racist for that?
Yes, you would, because
racist?
that's how it is. You would. The last time I checked, it's called supply and demand, and Hollywood is one of my favorite examples. You get all of these people now who have to blackwash everything, right? Annie, a movie that I grew up on, which was a musical and a play. Albert Finney played Daddy Warbucks, and the little white girl, the ginger with the orange hair. Well, back in, what was it, early 2000s, you had Jamie Foxx, black guy, playing Annie, or Little Mermaid's been blackwashed. The Honeymooners. White TV show, everything's blackwashed, and now they're trying to change Superman to be black and all this shit.
Yep.
And my argument is always James Bond, fictional characters. I don't mind any of that. What blows me away is the concept of supply and demand in the economy. If 13% of the population is black, and that's your base. And you know what? I shouldn't do movies. I shouldn't do movies because that can kind of open the door to a taste. How about necessity? You go to your store, and there is an entire aisle dedicated to hair care products for people with what we would call white hair, right? Pert, I don't know, Suave, Aussie. And then there's a little section that's probably about 3 feet wide, and it's usually locked because they can't fucking help themselves without stealing it. Black hair care products. And I've had people over the years go,
Called ethnic.
sure. I have had people sit there and say, well, why is it only that small cabinet space for black? And it's supply and demand. If you have a town that if I go to anywhere south of 290 in the city of Chicago, I'm not going to have a grocery store that has an entire shelving of white hair care supply. It's going to be predominantly, if not all, black hair care supply because that's a demographic. So when it comes to supply and demand, now going back to Hollywood, why are we forcing minorities, foreign people, even gay LGBTQ into a product, which is a movie? Tickets still need to be bought. Studios still need to make money. When only 13% of the population, if that, is going to watch this movie, or 1% of the population is going to watch this movie, where you're purposely alienating 65% of the population, which is the gross of your movie sales. So when it comes down to this fucking prioritizing black businesses and shit, unless it's in a specific black neighborhood, it's fucking racist. It makes no sense for the economy.
Just to point out, being racist is 100% legal and constitutional.
Fucking A.
That's number one. Okay, so here's the deal. This is one of the good things about capitalism is that their revenue, because they're prioritizing that, as has been proven, has fallen. Netflix views are down. Netflix purchases are down. Hollywood movies are down. People aren't going to the movies as much. People are sick of the woke.
That's right.
Making as much money. But their goal, Dominic, the goal here isn't just to elevate gays and blacks and all this other crap. They're pushing an agenda. They're pushing an agenda to basically mold, to brainwash and indoctrinate the youth.
Yeah.
Okay? They're to indoctrinate the youth into accepting this, right? It's part of the Clarity Plan, which we talked about the other day.
That's right.
They don't give a shit about the money. They're trying to subvert the culture.
Who's they?
Right?
Man.
So, again, the melting pot, right? Yeah. So, again, Israel Zangwill is the one who wrote the book. And it's about just completely destroying the basic demographic of a nation, especially Western nations. Western nations are known to the Jews, the Jewish supremacists, as Edom. Edom is sort of representative of the Roman Empire, which was all white. They want to destroy that. This is part of that, to destroy the culture by completely erasing it. Genocide doesn't just mean kill a race of people. It means to make it go extinct, to make it erase. How do we erase a culture? By interbreeding. It's happening all over Europe. It's happening into America. You no longer have a majority of 95% white European people in the country of America. Since 1965, it went down because of the Hart-Celler Act. You now have a demographic of white American Europeans, the race in America, as now 52%. You are erasing white people. The world population went from 11% to 8% in 5 years.
There's going to be a point where
That's
you have
their
a social
goal.
Yeah, you're going to have
Go
laws.
ahead.
You're going to have social credit score laws based on. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Izzo, you've had your quote of dating and having sexual relationships with white women. You had 5 relationships in your 30s, 6 relationships in your 20s. Now that you're in your 50s, you can only date from this ethnic pool. And they may fucking steer you through that. I can't wait till that happens.
Well, Matt's right here. When you look at movies like the Ghostbusters remake, where it was all women, it tanked. It did absolutely awful. Yeah. How about Ocean's whatever? They did an Ocean's 11 remake with all women. It was fucking horrible. Nobody watched it, and it was filled with A-listers, by the way.
Little Mermaid.
And nobody gave a shit. Right. They keep on pushing this regardless of ticket sales. And the reason for that is because they're pushing this agenda. And this agenda here, it does seem to be the case. And you might say to yourself, well, Scott, Matt, is that a bad thing? Like, aren't we the melting pot? Aren't we supposed to coexist? The bumper stickers that I see on every car here in Pittsburgh, aren't we supposed to have a culture where it's okay for a black and white and this and this? I don't know if you remember Matt Lauer. Yeah. You remember Matt Lauer? Yeah. He was a host of
Good Morning America.
Yeah,
right?
he was on Good Morning. He got in trouble years ago because they were covering a Miss Universe pageant, and he commented on the beauty of these Scandinavian women. There was a Norwegian, a Sweden, and a Finn woman that were coming on. He goes, "Oh, look how beautiful they are." He goes, the people in Norway, they don't interbreed, so that makes their bloodline pure, and that's why they're so pretty.
Look at fucking Polish and Russian women. Polish and Russian women, they're carbon copies, blue eyes, blonde hair, and they're attractive fucking women. You get over here in the United States, and what do we have? We have fat. We have women who do not care about themselves. I think the thing sans the features of Polish and Russian women is the pride they fucking have in themselves. Those bitches. Right. We don't have that here in America.
Absolutely. Well, I'm in the restaurant business, and I run a bar conglomerate here. We have 3 locations in the Pittsburgh area, and I was in the kitchen one time, and one of the cooks was in the kitchen, and it was a predominantly black staff. And this was years ago, and he said he had a daughter that was in her 20s, and he said, "I don't want my daughter dating anybody but a black guy. I want my grandchildren to be all black." And I said, "Yeah, it's great. It's awesome." I said, "I feel the same way. I have a daughter too, and I don't want her dating anybody other than a white guy because I want my grandchildren to be white. I want to preserve the bloodline." He goes, "Whoa, man." He goes, "Whoa." He goes, "It feels a little racist." And I'm like, "Well, you just said it. You just said the same thing." But that's what we see. You're not going to find a commercial nowadays or a piece of advertising, a billboard that doesn't have an intermixed race couple.
Yep.
And that's by design, folks.
Yeah.
That's not just random. That's on purpose. They're pushing this to society. They're trying to make it normal. They're trying to make, and if you push back on it, of course, you're going to be called racist. Of course, you're going to be called all these names.
But we're in favor of diversity. That is anti-diversity. How is there diversity if everyone is now intermixed?
I've been
I
saying,
want Russia to be Russian. Yeah, go ahead.
What you're about to say is what I've been saying for decades. If you start to do with what they want, eventually, because it's going to, you will have everybody who's the fucking same height, same hair color, same eye color, same mulatto skin color. You all look like the same cup of fucking coffee with the right amount of cream in it. And then the next step, have you ever seen the movie Equilibrium? It's
Christian Bale.
Where all of a sudden,
you
have to take a pill to suppress your emotions. Art is outlawed. Literature is outlawed. Music is outlawed. I don't think liberals understand this, because when you really get it, right? Now, I was a liberal in my youth. I was an art student, and I used to love art class, where you'd go and you'd do your work, you'd spend a month on it, and then you'd critique. And if you didn't have a thick skin, you were upset. I can't imagine what art class is like now, where you have expression, and then somebody critiques your lines, your abstracts, your fucking stippling, whatever. And it's art. It's supposed to be completely subjective. But these fucks do not realize that they're going to standardize it all, and you're gonna have to by nature remove. You can't like that guy's art more than mine. We're gonna have to find a way to do that. Lobotomy. Yeah. We are gonna lobotomize each other because of the direction you're talking about.
100%. And again, I agree with that Joy woman. Actually, I agree. Every just nothing wrong with groups wanting to further and advance their own group. I don't understand what's wrong with that.
Promote their own interests.
Yeah, it just has to be all around the board. That's all. It just has to be equal around the board.
Right, but there does seem to be an overarching theme here, where it's like when white people, it's like with voting. This Democrat Party today is the identity politics party. And they tell you where to vote based on your gender, ethnicity, skin color, all that stuff. So if you're a woman, you got to be pro-choice. If you're black, you got to be Democrat. Yeah. If you're Hispanic, you got to be Democrat, because they're for immigration. If you're whatever you are, they put you in these boxes. And normally when you vote outside the box, then you're looked at as not your black card's removed. It's like Tim Scott. I remember in the 2020 election, there was a runoff in the state of Georgia, and here they announced that these 2 Senate candidates had won, and it was like, the first minority senator in the South. And I was like, Tim Scott's the senator of South Carolina. I guess he doesn't count because he's a Republican. But so they put you in these boxes where it's like, you have to vote this way, you have to vote this way, you have to vote this way. And it's like, well, why? Why are they? We're allowed to have our own thoughts here. We're allowed to promote our own individual, wants, and I think it's a good thing to prioritize your own interests. But when white people do it, when white people go, I'm going to vote for my interests, I'm going to vote the way I think is best for my family and my race and my ideology, then that's the bad thing. You're demonized. You're called names. But it's okay for Hispanics to vote their interests. It's okay for blacks to vote their interests. Asians to vote their interests. So here we are. Here we are now.
Look at your cities.
You can't vote
Look at your cities. You got Chinatown, Ukrainian Village, Bronzeville. If you have Whitey Avenue or Whitey Block, you're gonna be you're fucked, dude. I don't understand. My mother, I thought, and it's amazing how you get pressed into holding on to, like your beliefs. And I was like 6, no, I was going to be 8 years old. And my mother just at the kitchen table one day, she's old school Dago from Chicago. And she sits there and I don't remember where this came out, but she goes, if you ever bring anybody home who is not white, she goes, we're going to have a problem. And I'm like, as an 8-year-old, I was second grade. And I'm like, holy shit, this fucking racist. Growing up now, no, I have no problem with interracial
marriages.
God knows I love interracial porn. I don't give a fuck. It's the group. Diamond Jackson, if you're listening, I've always been a fan. Vanessa Blue, you too. It's the group think shit. And the thing about it is I've never seen it in action. Anytime I go to the city, which is not that much at all lately, if ever I went, again, south of 290 in Chicago, and I was stupid. I would go to a McDonald's in the south suburbs, and I would get out of my car on purpose to stand in line with 40 black people and just me. And I've never been treated better. You go to a grocery store. I've never been treated fucking better. It's this online shit that they do, and and it does come from black women mostly, where they are just, if you breed outside of your species, look at all these black men with these white women, they're the most racist people on the planet. So the problem that it really bothers me is you have the internet, and then you have reality. And I've never seen segregation in reality. I've sure seen it all over the fucking safety of the internet and these politicians and these fucking talking head cunt CNN contributors. But I don't know. This is a very, very, very interesting topic. It always has been for me.
You should listen to Muhammad Ali in his interviews in the 1970s with a couple of different journalists. He said the exact same thing. He said, he goes, do what you want. He goes, do whatever you want. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, because why would you want to blot out your own race? That's what he said. I mean, he said, red birds fly with red birds, blue birds fly with blue birds. He goes, the vultures fly with vultures. He goes, you don't really see that too much in nature. And you don't really see it too much. I mean, you can say dogs and cats, but even to that point, if you take dogs, Dominic, isn't a purebred worth more than, a mutt?
That's right.
Yeah.
Aren't they sought after more and worth more money if you're to purchase one? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a reason for that. And it's, again, this is pro-diversity. This is anti-racism. We're trying to we want all the groups to exist. We want everybody to exist and live in peace. I don't understand. We don't want a race to be genocided off the planet through any means. We want all races to exist in peace and harmony. That's what we want. You try to go to Africa and do that and push white or any other race into their countries and then force them in their breeding. See what they're going to do to you in those countries. Try and do that in China. See what happens to you.
Right.
They'll fucking shoot you in the face.
We see it in South Africa now. There's an issue with the white farmers in South Africa.
Dude, it's been years now. You never hear about what blacks are doing to white farmers in Africa. I've had people call in who are from South Africa, and I've had articles. You think it's bad fucking, somebody wouldn't let me use the bathroom, I'm going to close down 30,000 Starbucks a day. Well, that's okay. A couple of white farmer parents were held, and their eyelids were slid off so they had to fucking watch their 4-year-old daughter get crucified to a fucking kitchen table and gang raped by black fucking South Africans. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't ever want to talk about that shit.
100% correct.
Yeah.
100% correct.
And look who's pushing all of the refugees into all these Western countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of dumb women, I found this audio clip, and I want to play it really quickly. It is, oh, come on, there we go. Whoopi Goldberg is Trump. This is what I was talking about before. This is the other side of the coin. Now you have all these people who are rushing to Daddy Trump's appointments. Musk and Ramaswamy are reported to like an accountability branch. I'll get to that in a second. He has his first diversity hire where he's so sexist. Well, he offered to pay off Kamala Harris's $20 million in debt for her campaign, and he appointed his first female chief of staff. Cool, whatever. But now I'm not. I've said this many times. I'm not politically savvy when it comes down to appointments and cabinet positions because I got too much other stuff to worry about. We're talking about. I don't want to get too long-winded, but we're talking about males and shit. I just started volunteering coaching for high school wrestling again, and it started Monday. I don't know about you guys, if you guys have get involved at all with any type of sport you love from years ago, how it is today. Holy shit. Masculinity is gone. Pride is gone. On time is gone. Numbers are gone. Do you guys remember that thing? If you, let's just say you went for the football team and there was varsity. If you didn't make the varsity team, what was it called? The other team you could play on in the same high school. Do you remember what it was called?
Junior varsity.
Yeah,
JV.
That's
Junior varsity.
Gone. Because the numbers for every sport. Oh, dude, the numbers for. I think I counted 22 kids because the wrestling gym is above the basketball gym. I think I counted 22 kids out for basketball. When I was in high school, 50, 60.
Yeah.
Wrestling was. So it's just. It's fucked.
You see that too with the military. I mean, Tim Kennedy, who was former Special Forces, he was also a UFC fighter, Army Ranger. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talked about the recruitment numbers being down, but for several reasons. Across all branches, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, all the recruitment numbers are down. And the reason for that, in part, is because of the obesity rates among youth. You have a group of young kids today, they're growing up today, that live a sedentary lifestyle. They eat shit food, they don't exercise, and they have no interest in playing sports, and they want to sit in front of a television screen and play Call of Duty or play PlayStation all day, or they're gamers. And you can make money doing that now. It's incentivized, so you can go and be a professional gamer. So you can sit there with your fat Cheeto fingers, and you can play video games all day, and you can make money off it. So these kids today have no interest in doing sports. They have no interest in being in shape. They have no interest in exercising. And it's an epidemic really across the entire country because the obesity rates are insane, but not just the obesity rates. People are overweight in general. So you have a population that's overweight, obese. They're unmotivated. They don't seem to care about much. And that also, too, by the way, gentlemen, is done by design.
Yep.
They want a bunch of fat, lazy turds in this country that can't fight back, that has no motivation to educate themselves, to be in shape, to train, to be able to defend their constitutional rights or take back what used to be their constitutional rights.
Yep.
They just want to be fat, lazy, and happy. And I've said this, I think there's going to be a UBI in the future, a universal basic income. And actually, I think I'm getting on board, actually, with what Matty Wack has been saying recently. I think this appointment, to me, of Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, DOGE. That's a cryptocurrency, for those that don't know. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, there's over 10,000 cryptocurrencies that are out there today. It shows you exactly, the list, and it does it by the list on coinmarketcap.com will go off of market cap space. And you see the list, and it goes from 1 to whatever. And in the top 10, Doge is in the top 10, I still believe. I think the play here is going to be some sort of digital currency and getting away with actual physical cash. I think that's the play. And I think Trump
is the Antichrist. Is the Antichrist. 3.5 years of peace starts January 20th, ushering in the fucking mark of the beast, and then fucking, you don't think, Israel, let's go ahead and build that temple. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Fuck, they've already got the red heifer.
And the red heifer, that's another prophecy too. They've already shipped over, I believe, 5 red heifers over there.
Only 5?
5. I think it's 5, but it has to be the red heifer in the prophecy there in the Old Testament has to be without blemish. So there's no marks. It has to be purebred. Imagine that, purebred. But
That's racist.
But I'm just looking through his appointments now, and we can you can shift the conversation, Dominic, if you want to. But I'm looking through all these different appointments, and it's the same agenda as 2016, 2017, but maybe even worse because now he does have a blank check. The guy has the House, the Senate, and as of right now, the 22nd Amendment's still in play, and the liberal left is saying, oh, he's going to repeal the 22nd Amendment so he can run again. The guy's going to be 82 years old. He's not going to run again. I might be wrong, and I doubt it, but he's not going to run again. The 22nd Amendment's not going to be repealed. But now he's got 4 years to get whatever he wants done, and his agenda is Israel's agenda, and he will get done whatever Israel tells him to.
And his picks actually confirm that assessment.
100%. This Pete Hegseth is the defense secretary. He's been
today President-elect Donald Trump.
Public. He's been very outspoken and very public about how he feels about Israel. He thinks that Western values is all encompassing to where Zionism and American values are one and the same. It's like Bibi Netanyahu when he gave a speech to Congress, and there was 55 standing ovations. He said, when Israel wins, America wins.
How?
And that's what this.
How,
Matt? When Israel wins, America wins. How does that work?
It doesn't. They win. They don't win anything.
We don't win.
No, it's a lie. They lied. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
Where's the lie? Here it is.
There it is.
But here's how stupid people I got to get this. I want to get his information. This is what Whoopi Goldberg says about Pete Hegseth and his appointment. And of course, because she's female and she's black, you have to listen to her.
That's not true.
So is this the guy who's qualified to make decisions about the most powerful military in the world who clearly does not know anything about the military?
You know, and also I feel insulted. I'm a morning TV host, and I've been here the longest.
Yes.
Where's my ambassadorship to Italy, Donald? Was it something I said?
That's not.
So Whoopi says he knows nothing about the military. And I'm just gonna, this is how we do things. Okay, if you have any type of doubt of what you're being fed on either side, ChatGPT is a great resource. So we're going to do this for those who are playing the home game. I'm simply typing in ChatGPT. Please list Pete Hegseth's military service, because Whoopi Goldberg says he has no clue about the military. And okay, it just spouts off. Pete Hegseth has a notable military background, serving in the Army National Guard from 2003 till 2014. His service includes deployments to several key locations: Guantanamo Bay from 04 to 05, Iraq 05 to 06. He was deployed to Baghdad and Samarra, where he held positions as an infantry platoon leader, and later as a civil military operations officer. Afghanistan in 2012, he returned to active duty as a captain, serving as a senior counterinsurgency instructor in the Central Training Aid in Kabul. Throughout his military career, he's received several commendations, including 2 Bronze Star medals and a combat infantry badge, recognizing his leadership in combat zones. Now, Scott, you have legitimate military experience. Was Whoopi accurate on her statement, or does this guy have a position that Americans can just fucking Google for themselves to see? Oh, the liberal left is full of fucking retarded faggot cunts who I don't know what else we need to do outside of this other than just, I don't want to say what we have to do because that'll get me red flagged. But anyways, go ahead.
But no, he does. He has a legitimate background. His military service is absolutely legit. Just because he's been on Fox News for however long doesn't discredit his knowledge when it comes to the military and what needs to be done. He was recently on the Sean Ryan podcast, who was a Navy SEAL and a CIA asset, and he talked about certain things. And he's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to military service. So Again, like this is programming where it's like they're still playing team sports here. It's blue and red, and because your blue team lost, now everybody that's on the red team is discredited from anything they've ever done, and we're still playing the red versus blue, which again, it's divide and conquer. The people are still focused on that. Yep. The red and the blue teams, they're not focused on the real problem. And the real problem is that our government and our country has been infiltrated. And that's the facts.
Yes. By a fifth column. And that is basically a subversive, infiltration of, a group that has taken over, sort of incognito, your government.
We're occupied.
Yeah, correct. First of all, and I'm not trying to discredit, the Wookiee, Whoopi.
Well, no, Wookiee was right.
What she says about anything.
Yeah, who cares?
Like
millions
number one,
do. Millions do. That's the problem. Millions do.
Well, right. So that's the problem in general. It's not because the legitimate argument here, which she should have said, and she never will because she's stupid. The legitimate argument is this guy the best qualified for the job? Whether he's qualified or not is irrelevant.
Is he the best qualified?
Correct. No, he's not, because he literally said dual loyalty is good.
Yes.
He said dual loyalty. Whoopi Goldberg, all she had to say was, I don't think he's qualified for the job because he said dual loyalty is good. And I would agree with Whoopi Goldberg. Of course, she didn't say that. She goes off on some stupid, retarded, low IQ fucking rant.
How dare you? How dare you?
This guy is actually horrible for the job because of his anti-American stance and his pro-dual loyalty stance and his pro-Israel stance. He's an Israel first, pro-Zionist defense guy.
Cuck.
He's a total cuck.
He's a cuck for Israel.
That's what's wrong with this guy. So in that aspect, no, he's not qualified. In Whoopi's definition, no, she didn't give a reason, a valid reason why he's not qualified. He isn't qualified because he's a traitor.
I keep asking this: if Israel, are we at another step? If you put Trump in office like he was put in, and all of a sudden he starts appointing people, and we're so blinded as the conservatives, we are so blinded with just, yay, all right, these liberal, crazy, kid-touching fucking, the whole agenda on, which blows me away. We were so distracted on the agenda of trying to get kids to convert their gender, which makes absolutely no fucking sense, because in the long run, you look at it, it's completely insane. It's asinine. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you take that, and you distract people by now saying, okay, you're going to put Trump back in office and Daddy Trump's going to fix all this. He's going to fix all this. Well, while he's fixing it, and you're worried about your school now, no longer reading about Jane, who loves to turn herself into John, and she wants to take a pair of her father's socks filled with click-clacks and say she has balls now, just so she can get sodomized by Jeff and say she's gay. Well, that means that while you're doing that with one hand, who's Trump appointing on the other hand? And if that's the case, I asked this weeks ago, if Israel is legitimately not a concrete place as much as it is an ideology, how many generations until Israel expands and absorbs the United States, and we then on the map are called a territory of Israel? Is that their ultimate agenda?
I don't think they would even, number one, it basically already is a territory of Israel, okay? It's just not in the name. Again, America in name only. This is the United States of Israel. Just because we're not calling ourselves that doesn't make it not true. So we already are occupied, okay? It just, Trump's appointments prove it. Trump's appointments prove it. Just his first administration was pro-Zionist and multi-dual citizens in his first cabinet. Now it looks like he's on pace to have even more. Biden already had 90% of his administration that were either Jewish or they were Jewish, and most of them are dual citizens. So again, this is already occupied. We already are part of Israel. It's just not labeled in a name. The television isn't telling you that, but it doesn't mean it's not so. So we already are a part of it, as well as other Western nations. They're controlled by, Jewish oligarchs, Jewish supremacists, and they are the ones who finance, bribe, or blackmail the high-level government officials within these nations' governments to get what they want for Israel.
Matt made a great point, though. Is he the most qualified? And for me, it's a resounding no. I did like Trump's original appointee in 2016, 2017 of Mad Dog Mattis. He was a 3-star general. I liked him a lot. Mad Dog and his reputation. I guess you could call him a war hawk, but the guy had combat experience. He was a true leader of men. 3-star general that was also in the Obama cabinet, along with Michael Flynn, who's another 3-star general. Mad Dog Mattis was a great pick. He was a great pick. This guy, I don't know exactly what makes him a great pick, but for Whoopi to say that he has no knowledge of the military is absolutely asinine.
It's going to be loyalty, and there's a part of the criticism that is right about Trump. He wants loyalty, and I can't say I don't respect that. I understand that. Mattis, look what happened when Mattis turned on Trump. All of a sudden, how many people turned on Mattis? It was if you put the two of them in a row, Mattis is like, I was never military, but I crave that strength of leadership. I don't care how old I fucking am. You put Mattis in a room and I'm there, I can guarantee you I'll feel like I'm fucking 18 years again. And if you want me to go run up a hill with a pack of C4 to blow myself up for my fucking country, I will. Trump, I'd be like, no, I have no desire to do that under you. So I think Americans are massively brainwashed on the fundamental basis of leadership in this country. And I don't know what happened between Mattis and him, but that was something that it just shows how fickle people are, and the Trump worship is insane. That's my only wonder is the people he's appointing, who are they truly? What's their background? What's their connection? And then what is he going to do to I don't know, to usher in.
Right, so we don't have a crystal ball, but let's just look at another appointment, Dominic. Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota.
That's right.
Oh, that's weird. Another female.
She's a Trump loyalist.
As the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Homeland Security. You have a female now in charge of actual securing the homeland. That's correct. Am I right? That's Kristi Noem?
Kristi Noem, you're correct. She's the Homeland Security Secretary.
She's the one, Dominic, who in her state of South Dakota, just 6-8 months ago, implemented an anti-free speech bill called the Anti-Semitism Bill. And there's only 400 Jewish citizens in the state of South Dakota. That's weird. Only 400, and you are going to implement a anti-Semitism bill, which goes against the First Amendment. And to make it better, Dominic, it literally went further than that. And now the Bible in South Dakota must have warning labels that there are anti-Semitic verses in this Bible. There's now warning labels on Bibles in South Dakota. She literally made the fucking Bible basically illegal.
Bet you didn't know that, folks. Bet you didn't know that. And by the way, I had to fact check myself there. General Mattis was a 4-star general. I apologize to all those out there that were probably being like, he wasn't 3-star. I apologize. He's a 4-star general. But yes, Kristi Noem is a Trump loyalist. She did sign a anti-Semitism bill in her home state of South Dakota, where she is the governor. And yes, they did put warning labels on Bibles, particularly probably because of that verse. Well, a couple verses, but
New Testament, they said.
New Testament, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, 14 through 15, where Paul just basically said, he comes right out and says, St. Paul comes out and says, the Jews killed Christ and they're the scourge of humanity, by the way. That's what that says. And also there's verses.
Christ called him a den of vipers.
That's right. Yep.
Your father's the devil.
John chapter 8, he has the interaction with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and they play the race card. They say, hey, we're the seed of Abraham. And Trump says, God doesn't care about your DNA. He can raise up stones to be the seed of Abraham. Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, which is the synagogue of Satan. Yeah. Those who say they're Jews but are not, all this stuff.
Well, the Old Testament, I guess, is fine, though. All the Jewish supremacy in the Old Testament. Kill the children, kill the livestock, kill the people, take their stuff, make them your slaves, take the women, make them your slaves.
But I agree with Dominic. I think
that's all fine.
That's what he's doing. And I also agree. I work for a business owner that is prioritizes loyalty. He does like that. He likes loyal, not just to the company, but he likes loyalty to him. And Trump is that. And you see it when guys defect from his administration, like a Rex Tillerson or Bill Barr, all these guys.
Real patriotic guys.
But you see all these guys that have come and gone in the administration where all they're doing, like Mattis, is just giving criticism of how he runs the show. They disagree with him. They have disagreements. They're not calling him names. They're not sitting there being like this, orange fat guy with horrible hair is doing some bad things for the country. No, they just say, hey, well, I disagree. And Trump's the one that turns around and goes, well, he's a retard. He doesn't know anything. He's stupid. Well, then why'd you hire him in the first place?
I never liked him. Why'd you
hire him in the first place then? It's like if you go against the guy, he'll come at you 10 times harder. And part of me, I get it. I've worked around people like that. I've worked for people like that. That you have to be loyal to them. And that's what Trump is.
And who's Trump loyal to, Scotty?
There's the question.
Well, he's loyal.
That's
and Miriam Adelson is who he's loyal to.
Who? Yeah,
Miriam Adelson. That's a financial donor. $100 million. Just her alone
she's
donated
the
$100
wife
million.
of casino magnate Sheldon Adelson, who passed away. So
that sounds
inherited
like
billions.
I can't put my thumb on the heritage of that name.
We can put our finger on the bell here.
Can't put my.
Needs some help. But he's already appointed to what's this woman's name who I got wrong on Monday? Elise Stefanik.
Yeah, you thought it was a guy.
I thought it was a guy. I apologize for that, by the way, folks. But it is a female, and she's
huge pro-Jew, pro-Zionist, pro-Israel.
Yeah,
huge.
Well, ultimately, isn't that the thing? Then I guess if Israel, by extension, absorbed the United States, wouldn't that be Zion? Isn't that fucking all what it has to be then?
Again, it is already that. It's just not labeled that publicly.
Right. It's not named yet.
Yeah.
It's not named yet. But that's what we're dealing with here. And I mean,
just imagine, Scotty and Dominic, you have the Department of Homeland Security, who basically goes out there as a federal law enforcement agency to arrest anybody in the country for quote unquote terrorism. And now you have this bitch, Kristi Noem, who already passed an anti-Semitism bill. And as we talked about last week, Dominic, there already is an anti-Semitism bill within Congress right now that got passed by the House, 6090, HR 6090. They can just pass that after they get the Senate approved on January 20th. All the new senators come in. They have both houses. Yeah. And this is just a hypothetical. They passed that anti-Semitism federal bill. Now you have Kristi Noem, who already is in favor of it. She passed it in her state, going to go around and arrest you, Dominic, and arrest me, and arrest Scotty. Because we're talking about we're promoting, quote, anti-Semitic tropes. And that's going to be against the law now. And now we go to jail.
I think it'll start with a fine first. I think it'll start like in Canada.
Fine.
Then
men with guns are going to come.
That's right. Armed men in uniform will come to your house and they'll arrest you if you don't pay the fine. Well, it's probably a longer process. You don't pay the fine, then you get a summons to court hearing. If you don't show up to court,
it leads to
violence.
Right. They'll solve that problem with the digital currency. They'll shut off your utilities. They'll show. How about go to electric cars? Mandate that, then all of a sudden, you didn't pay your fine. You didn't
Elon Musk would
tithe.
Never do that.
You did not tithe to the state of Israel. Well, all of a sudden, you're going to be sitting on 990, and then boom, your car just shuts right off. How soon till that happens? Your social media, it's off till you pay. That digital currency is it's a horrible idea. Horrible.
They call me crazy when I said that, but I think it's coming.
Yeah, I think it's coming because Dogecoin is something that Elon Musk on Twitter has been promoting over the years. Dogecoin has the face of that dog. I think it's Shiba. I forget the name of the dog, but it doesn't matter. It is a face of the dog on the coin, and Elon Musk promotes it. He even flirted with taking Dogecoin as payment for Teslas. He's flirted with taking Bitcoin as payment for Teslas.
So wait a second. You're telling me that how long has this Doge, been established?
Doge, I believe the coin came out in 2017. You can fact check me on that, but it got very popular.
I'm sorry. So it just, oh my God, shut up. It just happens that they created a department for him to run called Department of Government Efficiency, which is also Doge.
You're a conspiracy theorist.
It's just
Doge.
What is that?
Doge came out in 2013. Doge came out in 2013, but it got very popular in 2020.
Okay.
It really got popular. And Elon Musk had a big thing to do with that. Here in 2020, Dogecoin spiked following a TikTok trend aimed at getting Dogecoin to $1. In May 9, 2021, SpaceX announced a rideshare mission to the moon completely funded by Dogecoin. Elon Musk confirmed this via Twitter that he was promoting Doge and Dogecoin. And I think obviously this isn't a coincidence
How
that they're
is this
calling
legal?
this new department.
How is this legal? I mean, especially for the sake, I don't know if this Dogecoin trades on the NASDAQ at all, but how do you have it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's DOGE, and then the acronym for the department is DOGE. How do you not conflate those as somebody's who's it's almost like it's
just coincidence.
No, it's massively influential for your direction of, there's the safety of our government. They've created a department of government efficiency. Dogecoin, which has been established for 5 years now, must be in our best interest. Let's all step and fetch like good little fucking monkey geese and get right in line.
Yeah, right. So the cryptocurrency market is a separate market. So the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P 500, those operates, I believe the hours are like 9 to 5 or 9 to 4. But the cryptocurrency market, which is separate, that's 24/7. You can go and you can download a Coinbase account, or you can download there's Robinhood, I think, sells cryptocurrency on there. I think there's another couple different. Qcoin is another app you can download where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency. So Coinbase now, I believe, is in the top 20 of different apps that are being downloaded right now, because crypto is spiking. Ever since last week, I believe Bitcoin's at 88,000 right now. It's at an all-time high, 87,000 right now.
What a coincidence!
Yeah, they're going to push it. That Matt sold me now. I mean, we've been talking about this for a year and a half or so, but I think that they're going to get rid of physical, actual money. They're going to go to digital currency, and part of that too, I believe, is because what both of you.
That'll be his way.
What both of you are saying is right. They'll be able to just shut off your account, or they'll be able to take money out of the account. Hey, you said something online, or you made a post on Twitter or X, or you made a post on TikTok, and now you owe us $200 because it violates the HR Bill 6090.
You know how he'll sell this? He'll sell this to people who are stupid like me. That it's like everybody for how long has been saying Trump needs to take us off or put us back on the gold standard. That'll be his thing, right? It's off the Fed and back into the gold, because the Fed is a non-governed body. Nobody governs them.
Correct.
So this will be this is how I'll keep all the politicians in check, by switching us over to the electronic standard.
Well, to get rid of the debt. It'll be a way to get rid of the debt, because you no longer owe on the dollar anymore. It's a different currency. The only problem is you can't even fucking hold this currency in your hand. You can't even see it. It's completely electronic, 100%.
Right. Yes, sir. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, good show. Good show today, gents.
That's
good show.
Wednesday. There you go. There you have it. The Burn Pit Podcast is every Monday.
We're not going to talk about any good news? No good news today?
So stupid. Guys, what's going on at the Burn Pit Podcast? Who's coming on with that?
Join us live every Monday at 4 o'clock on Spreely TV. That's 4 p.m. in the East, 1 o'clock in the West. Burn Pit Podcast on Spreely TV. You can find Spreely on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick. Download the Freedom Hub app right to your phone or smart device. Watch us anytime, anywhere. I think this Monday we're going to get on Sam Parker.
I'm going to contact him.
He's a former Senate candidate from the state of Utah.
Yeah.
He's big on X. Yep. Sam Parker's big on X. You can look him up. Sam Parker, U.S. Senate on X. He's got over 200 and some thousand followers, but he also is woke to the JQ.
I'm hoping. That's what I did want to talk about. We can talk about that next week. I'm wondering what the liberal left is going to do on January 6th, and if they're going to have their own little protests. And I hope they do it in glorious liberal style. I hope they burn. It's kind of sick. I hope they burn shit fucking down. Biden, who's still in power, then declares an emergency. Right, the conservatives lose their fucking mind, and thank God the war begins. Is what it is.
Dominic, let's have a watch party.
Fucking hell. I'm going to fucking masturbate first at how glorious it is. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Go out and help somebody today if you can't help them. Don't hurt them. See you later on.